driving in the dark driving in the dark. But we're gonna talk about. It seems that the Buffalo Bills is phasing out Stefon Diggs. Let's talk about possibly the Lions picking up Stefon Diggs. They might have a couple of options next offseason, depending on who get a deal or who get tagged. Mike Evans around 30 years old. I believe Stefon Diggs might be around the same age. Yeah, he about to turn 30. So, yeah, he about to turn 30 November 29th. So, Devontae Adams right around that same age as well, too. So, he might be available for trade. You heard that the Jets may be trying to get him next offseason. Seem they like a different team when Antonio Pierce is their head coach. And people don't talk enough about morale of a football team. It happened with us. You know, we lost Matt Patricia, fired him, hired Dan Campbell, and, the morale changed instantly. But, with Stefon Diggs, obviously they phased him out in Buffalo. He wasn't happy before the season. And nobody particularly knows why. Is it the play of Josh Allen? Is it the play calling, which they fired Ken Dorsey, hired my man that was calling Georgia offense when they won the national championship, Joe Brady. He flaked out in Carolina, but you got to still have soldiers to carry out the mission. So, real side note, I feel that Buffalo need to run the football. Josh Allen shouldn't be throwing it more than 20, 25 times a game. And that's my humble opinion. They shouldn't be throwing it more than 20 or 25 times a game. That's it. And they should be running it about 20, 25, 30 times a game. But that's my opinion. I think if they took the game out of his hands a little bit and ran the ball, it'd be different. But with Stefon Diggs or whatever, I feel that be a good fit back into the NFC North. Now, does he have the supreme quarterback that he's looking for? Goff is a really good quarterback. I think Josh Allen is a good quarterback. I just think they allow him to do what he want to do. They allow him too much free will in that offense. And that's just my opinion about it. But I think that is coming to Detroit be interesting. I mean, you can draft somebody. And you can feel like you set right now with Jameson Williams continue to rise. That way you can allocate more money elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? But talking about the Lions' biggest problem is this interior defensive tackle. And you never know what's happening with Aaron Donald. Chris Jones. Kansas City got one of the best defenses in the league. People don't really know that or care because they got Mahomes. But your problem is in the interior and the lack of athletes in your front seven on defense. Now, could you address those problems in the offseason, in the draft? Yeah. You might have guys like Brian Burns that might hit the market. You might have guys like Chris Jones that might hit the market. A lot of people wanted Kandenji Kansey. He's playing really, really good in Buffalo. But then also, they got a hell of a supporting cast there, too. He was an elite athlete. They could have used him in the front seven. But, when you get a good middle linebacker that you like, that's hard to find, to be honest. That's very hard to find. So, middle linebackers take about a year or two to really, mature and grow into that role. But with Stefon Diggs, I just think the situation is Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, guys like that. It's all about the draft board and where it falls. And where Jameson Williams at. I think Jameson Williams, he started to emerge. St. Brown and Josh Reynolds, especially if Donovan Peoples-Jones give you a little bit and Khalif keep getting better and giving you what he giving you, Pauls. I don't think you need a receiver, to be honest. Laporta, Gibbs, still learning and developing out the backfield. So I don't really think you would need a receiver. But in the sake that, you don't believe in Josh Reynolds or Jameson Williams or something like that, then that's a game changer. You get a number one guy that's polished, that's ready to win. You got a team that's ready to win. But I just think you got to fill that spot. You got to find interior pass rusher, and you got to find Aiden Hutchinson, somebody to run with on the edge. And obviously the cheapest way to do that in the draft. But I'll tell you what, I like Brian Burns a lot. I like him a lot. he's exactly what the Lions looking for. An athletic, rangy edge. And if you're able to find somebody to put on the inside that can get some penetration, that's pretty athletic. You got Lynn McNeil, an athletic D tackle, Aiden Hutchinson. But I think, before I finish on Diggs, I think it might be more of a reform coming up front. I think you're going to see Julian, Romeo, Okoro brothers, and Harris out of here next year. I think they keep Kaminsky for depth. Pascal will be the utility guy across the board. Very strong player, by the way. Makes some good plays for Chicago. So I think you're going to start to see them kind of like, get multiple defensive ends to help them. And, you might see multiple drafted. You get Brian Burns, you can just draft multiple guys. But with Diggs is everything. Give you somebody down the field, a playmaker. Very good compliment to St. Brown. What if they want to phase out Josh Reynolds and get at Jameson Williams? I'm not saying that they should. And go with Diggs. Just to give them a better chance. Would that mess up their identity as far as running the ball? But I think, whoever be the next offensive coordinator, I think you want to keep that identity of running the ball. But I think it's some more complexities that Diggs and, Jahmyr Gibbs give you in the passing game. So it's gonna tell a lot how they finish this season offensively. But if you got a chance to add a Diggs and Mike Evans, I just think you got to have a plan in place if you're gonna do that. Especially with free agency being before the draft. Before the draft, you got to have a plan in place to fill your biggest hole. $60 million. Your biggest hole is an interior defensive tackle that can rush the passer, and an athletic edge that can run with Aiden Hutchinson. Other than that, I think they got pretty much good depth across that defensive line with Jones and Bugs and Pascal and Kaminsky, James Houston. You just need one or two more guys. One guy in the draft somewhere, probably mid to late. And you probably just need a stud up there. But the key for them is athleticism. And that front seven, that's the key. With guys like Aiden Hutchinson and Josh Pascal, really strong guys. And Aiden Hutchinson is quite the athlete. But if you can find some more athletic, strong guys like Aiden Hutchinson, yeah, all right. They don't grow on trees. But Diggs is, what is they doing, bro? I don't know, man. Jesus Christ. I question how people got their driver's license, honestly. People get next to a truck and they get scared. You can't be scared. But yeah, that's the $1 million question. Can they fill those other holes before we can start to have a conversation and talk about picking up a guy like Stefon Diggs? You say, what other holes they got? Just look across the board and I say, cornerback, they need some more depth at corner. Offensive line depth, they can help there too. So they got some holes to fill. But it's not as many holes as they used to fill. They have to fill. So I like Diggs. If they got a plan in place where they can fill some of these holes that we need filled, I had no issue with it. I'm not giving them 5, 6, 7 years. Remember, you got to pay golf. So I think they might have a chance to get a Brian Burns and fill some holes here and there. But yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out Detroit Lion Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, your Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Hit the link tree. You can literally find me everywhere from Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, the whole nine, man. Other than that, man, peace.